it is also given in order to facilitate prana upasana. Prana upasana is in the form of that the mukhya prana is taintless. That is the upasana. Breath is taintless because it is rooted in the truth. That. Breath is not tempted, eyes can be tempted, ears can be tempted like that. An object can tempt you. In a manner of speaking, we can say, forms can tempt the eyes, sounds can tempt the ears. So these sense organs do suffer from temptation. And the sense organs, they are available for temptation. When the sense organs are available for temptation, that availability of temptation are available to be tempted, make them, they're tainted. Temptability is the taint, impurity. Whereas the breath has is not a sense organ. Senses are tempted, breath is not tempted. Senses are tempted, breath is not tempted because breath is not a sense organ. Breath is not a sense organ. That's why in a way we say that the breath is taintless. This kind of upasana, it is only just to show this very temptation for the objects is the taint, is the sin, is the impurity. There is a beautiful message conveyed. This very temptation for the objects is the taint, is the impurity. And therefore, whereas the breath, mukhya prana, is not a sense organ, therefore it is not as though tempted, because it is rooted in the truth. Senses seem to be as though rooted in the objects, in ignorance. Even they are rooted in the truth, but somehow they are concluded rooted in the objects. The breath is rooted in the senses are as though rooted in their objects. So the senses are not pure because they are temptable. The breath is pure because it is not tempted. This manner, there is an upasana. Thus Udgita is a upasana. When you repeat Omkara, that is Udgita Japa. When you repeat Omkara, it is Udgita Japa. When you meditate upon the breath as something that is rooted in the truth, our breath is rooted in the truth, meaning we are breathing in the truth. We are breathing in the truth. We are not really breathing in the world, we are breathing in the truth. Then this becomes meditation. This is called upasana. And therefore, it is not that Udgita is only meant for japa, it is also meant for upasana. I have conveyed this point. If I can successfully convey this point, that Udgita is not merely meant for japa. It is not only meant for prayer, it is also meant for meditation. It is not only meant for japa, it is also meant for upasana. In Karma Kanda, Udgita was introduced as a matter of japa, abhyaroha japa. Abhyaroha japa means when you go on repeating the name of a particular devata, so that the devata gives you darshan. That is called abhyaroha japa. But in Vedanta, you don't require abhyaroha japa, you require only upasana, that is, you think more. In Vedanta, you think more about the truth rather than a more attractive form. In Vedanta, we think less about a greater pedestal. We don't think about a higher and higher pedestal. In Vedanta, we think about the truth. I want to become a devata. It's almost like saying, I want to become Mukesh Ambani. That is called Devata Darshanam ji. That is called Devata Darshanam. I want to become the Prime Minister of this country. What is that? Looking for a higher pedestal. Abhyaroha japa. The fruit of abhyaroha japa. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, make me the Prime Minister of the country. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, make me the Prime Minister of the country. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, make me the Prime Minister of the country. Maybe, who knows, one day you will become the Prime Minister. Bhagavan also says, oh, go and hang yourself. If you so wish, the Prime Minister. If you so wish it, have it. And baad mein don't cry. But in Vedanta, who is interested in thinking about higher pedestals? You are too mature to think of pedestals. A matured man is incapable of craving for higher and higher pedestals. A matured man can only think about the truth which is the answer to human struggle. He looks for the answer to the human hatred, human jealousies, human enmities, human impurities. In brief, a matured man looks for the answer to human unhappiness. He is not interested in higher and higher pedestal. The one who looks for higher and higher pedestal is the one who is still immature. He is not a student of truth. He is a craver for objects. He is still a craver, not a thinker. He is a craver, not a thinker. And therefore, when Vedanta, upasana is necessary. In Vedanta, upasana related to the truth is advocated, recommended. Okay, ji. Next line. Pranasya vagadinam cha shuddhi ashuddhi vachanat. In this Upanishad, as we are going to see, in a few verses, we are going to see that the sense organs are going to be described as impure, whereas the breath is going to be described as pure. Why is it so? Because the sense organs are temptable to their objects, whereas breath is not a sense organ. It is only ease, breath ease. Whereas the eyes can be tempted. You see, then you are tempted. The breath is rooted in the truth. Pranasya vagadinam cha shuddhi ashuddhi vachanat. Prana is going to be described as pure and the senses are going to be described as impure. Nahi anupasyatve pranasya shuddhi vachanam vagadinam cha saha upanyasthanam ashuddhi vachanam. Very beautiful. If Vedanta does not want us to meditate upon the breath as rooted in the truth, it would not have described the breath as pure. And when Vedanta describes the breath as pure, it means it wants us to meditate on it, to think about it. So Vedanta wants you to meditate upon the breath. Then you can always ask a question, why is breath pure? Why is breath pure? The breath is pure because it is rooted in the truth. That means anything that is related to the truth is pure. That is just to be understood. So we have to get the idea, life lived unrelated to the truth is impure. Life lived related to the truth is pure. Life lived unrelated to the truth is impure. Life lived related to the truth is pure. This is called meditation. Meditation is not something, meditation is nothing but abiding on a reality. Abiding on a given reality. What is the reality? Any faculty that is used as related to the truth, whatever I do related to the truth is pure. Any activity unrelated to the truth is impure. This is a reality. If I abide on it, that is called meditation. Why do I have to abide? I have to absorb it. A certain reality needs to be absorbed. In order to absorb the beauty of an object, I have to abide on it. I have to abide on what is said in the book to absorb it. I have to abide on what is written on the board to absorb it. I have to abide to absorb. That is called abiding. To absorb a given reality, a given fact is called meditation, dhyana. Abiding. Breath is pure, the senses are impure. But it is not just to conclude that the breath is pure and the senses are impure. That is the purpose here. The purpose is to understand any activity that is related to the truth is pure. Any activity that is unrelated to the truth is impure. And the pure is the answer to my unhappiness. And the impure is an aggravator of my unhappiness. The impure aggravates unhappiness. The pure is the answer to my unhappiness. And therefore, here Bhagavan says, Shuddhi vachanam vagadinam chasa upanyasthanam ashuddhi vachanati vagadi nindaya mukhya pranastutischa abhipreta upadyate. Vagadi nindaya. The Shruti criticizes, runs down temptation for the objects. Temptation. Vagadi nindaya. Vak means, the words, all the sense organs. Meaning, I see, I perceive the objects, I get tempted by them, then I use my hands and feet to achieve it. So I use my sense organs as well as the organs of action to fulfill my own temptation. To go back to yourself, like in sleep, do you use your senses and organs of action? Bahut badi baat hai ji. Supposing you want to fall asleep, do you have to fight with your hands? Do you have to battle with your feet? Do you have to talk? In order to fall asleep, do you have to talk? We don't have to use the sense organs or the organs of actions to go back to ourselves. To falling asleep is nothing but going back to oneself. There is no... Therefore, to think of the truth, we don't require really the senses, etc. That's why here he says, the Shruti runs down. What is this every day? Is it going to be a permanent thing? But जब भगवान ने जन्म लेने के पहले भगवान ने कहा मुझसे, अरे बेटे बोला, इसको बहुत देर God said, भगवान ने कहा आप पृथ्वी लोक जाओ. भगवान जी आप तो you are sending me to India where it is going to be full of noise. How am I going to study Vedanta? Then I said, I can take you to the best of teachers to study Vedanta. I can give you the best Vairagyam. I can give you everything that can help you study Vedanta, but don't ask me to minimize the noise. That is not in my hands. Bhagavan says, that is not in my hands. Indians can defy even Bhagavan because they love noise. Pata nahi. Vagadi nindaya mukhya prana vrittischa abhipreta upadyate. When the Shruti runs down the temptation for the objects, it also praises the mukhya prana. Mukhya prana means what? Relationship with the truth. Doing anything unrelated to the truth is run down, and doing everything related to the truth is praised. Do everything related to the truth. When I am honest, it is related to the truth. It conforms to the truth, etc., etc. When I look at the objects, I say they are not going to make me full anyway. They can give me temporary pleasure, all right. They are not going to be the answer. If I think like this, then I am conforming to the truth. Then I am relating it to the truth. Mrityam atikranto deepyate ityadi phalavachanam cha. It is also said, when you do pranopasana, and if you think that all the mukhya prana is rooted in the truth, and the senses are rooted in the mukhya prana, instead of rooting the senses in the objects, trace them to mukhya prana. Don't relate the senses to the objects, relate them to their source. Instead of relating the senses to the objects, relate them to their source. When you relate them to the source, they become brighter. Deepyate, mrityam atikranto deepyate. Very beautiful, ji. I have to explain it, and you need to have patience. You know, whenever you use your logic only for the objects, it is weak. But when you use your logic to know the truth, it becomes stronger. You become stronger if the truth is the objective. One becomes weaker and weaker when he relates himself only to the objects. If the objects are the objective, we become weaker. When the truth is the objective, we become stronger. When Bhagavan is the objective, when divinity is the objective, when education is the objective, then we become stronger. That is what is said. The same logic, as long as I use it to make money, it is weaker. But the moment I use it to understand the truth, it becomes stronger. That is why it is said, these devatas, I hope you are able to understand, these devatas, as long as they try to control the asuras without the help of the truth, they are weak. But the moment they try to control the asuras after seeking the help of the truth, they become stronger. A very important, beautiful message. This is all pictorial way of conveying the message. The message is more important. Whether you convey it in terse language or pictorially, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Whether you count 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 2, 9, 9 plus 2, 11. Whether you do the maths, you do that arithmetic, you do this addition in your mind, or you do like this, 5, 2, 7, 7, 2, 9, 9, 2, 11, you do it in your hand, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? What does it matter as long as you get the message right? Are you able to follow? As long as you get the why should one really criticize the Purana? Purana is pictorially conveying the same truth. Temple also is pictorially conveying the same truth. Everything in this country is totally related to, it is just conveying the truth. So that in every department of life you are facing something that conveys to you the truth. Even when you put tilakam, after bath you put tilakam. I tell you, it conveys the truth. Meaning what? Worship God within. You are worshipping God. When you put something like this, it is worship. And You are not worshipping yourself, you are worshipping the truth in you. Anyway, you are the truth. Yes. And it is also said, when you give yourself a bath, you are giving a bath to the truth. These are all nice things. What is wrong in them? They are both change. Everything in Indian life, you face, you stumble at every corner. You stumble upon something that conveys to you the truth. At every corner. Even Diwali is celebrating vanquishing evil. It's also nice. But you see, everybody loves to vanquish evil. Okay, ji. But in this country we not only love it, but we celebrate it. That is called Diwali. Yes, we celebrate it. Thus, the same intelligence is weak as long as it is used for the objects. But the same intelligence used for the truth becomes stronger. It's a very beautiful thing. As long as you work for yourself, you are weak. But when you work for others, you become stronger. In fact, you become more efficient. You enjoy it. You try. When you are serving others, you enjoy it because it is satisfying you. And when you are earning for yourself, you enjoy it, but along with that you are tensed up. Pata nahi kab tak ye mauka milega. There is always greed comes. Greed is a spoiler. You are earning money, but then you are becoming greedier and greedier. Therefore, there is a dissatisfaction. But supposing you are serving, you are more and more happy. Therefore, you enjoy. What I am saying is, efficiency is the result of doing everything that is related to the truth. Efficiency is not the result of selfishness. Efficiency is not the result of merely desire. Efficiency is the result of doing things related to the truth. When even helping others is related to the truth. Service is related to the truth. Serving parents is related to the truth. Being honest is related to the truth. Being kind, being compassionate is related to the truth. All good deeds relate to the truth. Goodness conforms to the truth. And therefore, when you are good, you are more competent. When you are good, you are more efficient. I think so, ji. That's what I feel. Therefore here, this is the message. This is the sentence you have to pick up. Devatas tried to conquer the Asuras independently. They could not. Then they had to take the help of truth. Is it not a message? Gods tried to vanquish the Asuras, the evil, they could not. Then they had to seek the help of the truth. When you seek the help of the truth, you become stronger and you shine out. Then vanquish. Okay, ji. Thus, I am concluding this. Prana swarupapatterhi phalam tad vagadi ajnadi bhavaha. Devatas who are weak became brilliant by seeking help from the truth. The Agni became brilliant. The air became stronger. Eyes became stronger, ears became stronger, mind became stronger, all faculties became stronger when they took the help from the truth. Simple Ji, your faculties become glorious when the objective is the truth. The faculties become glorious when the objective is the truth. Now, the next line. It's all great analysis, Ji. Now the Purvapakshi says, Bhavatu nama pranasya upasanam natu vishuddhyadi gunavatta iti. The objectionist says now, sir, what you say may be true. Any action that is related to the truth is stronger, I understand it. But how do you conclude that the senses are impure and breath is pure? Bhavatanama pranasya upasanam natu vishuddhyadi gunavatta. It's not that only mukhya prana, the breath is pure. Nanu syat shutatva. And the objectionist says, we can't accept just because it is said by the scripture. Just because it is said so by the scripture, we can't accept it because breath also can be, there is no proof of breath being pure. Breath also is impure. Breath can cause you problems. Nobody goes into ICU just because of his eyes. You go into ICU because of the breath. So these things, one can think about all this. Why should you think breath is? But then here what the Shruti says is a very beautiful thing. It is not that the breath is pure. Breath is made pure by its touch with the truth. That it is in touch with the truth makes it pure. The message thereby is that anything in relation to the truth is pure. Bas itna hi hai. Nahi hai. Anything that is in relation to the truth, that is done with the truth as the objective, becomes pure, bas. But anyway, the Purvapakshi, the objectionist, asked the question, sir, if the senses are impure, breath also could be impure. Why do you say? Just because the Shruti says so, we can't. Nasya. Just because the Shruti says that the breath is pure, it need not be pure. But the Purvapakshi has not understood what the message is. A breath is not pure by itself. Breath is pure due by dint of its being rooted in the truth. ऐसा something. Upasyatve stutyarthatvopapatte. Siddhanti says, I'm going on giving you the meaning, don't worry about the individual words you can't follow. खाते हैं ना, आम खाओ, पेड़ मत गिनो, पेड़ मत गिनो. कोई आके आपको आम देते हैं, भैया आम खा लो. And then instead of showing interested in eating mango, you say, I want to know how many trees are there. Bhaiya, by that time, somebody else will come and take it away. We खा लो. आम खाओ, पेड़ मत गिनो. हाँ, similarly, don't worry about the grammatical nuances of the language here. Just go on eating the mangoes. The mangoes is what? The message of Vedanta. the sweet, Amritam. Nothing can guarantee happiness except my conformity with the truth. That I fall in line with the truth. You know our way. But anyway, here the Purva says, why should prana be pure and the senses be impure? For this the Siddhanti says, nah, you are wrong, sir. Prana is pure. Why the breath is pure? Ultimately we are going to say because it is rooted in the truth. It is the personal secretary of God. Haji. And in Chandogya Upanishad we said, when man dies, the breath stops and the self leaves the form and takes another form. That means what? The self becomes a manifest where the breath is manifest. Without the manifestation of the breath, senses can't manifest. A very beautiful thing. Without physiology, there is no psychology. Without physiology, there is no psychology. Yes. If the psychology has to come into the picture, there has to be physiology. Physiology is breath, and the rest is all psychology. Psychology is not pure, because psychology is not directly rooted in the truth. Why? Because in between there is a step, physiology. Breath is directly rooted in the truth. This is how one has to understand the message. Even though everything is rooted in the truth, but still, it is said, presupposing the breath are the senses. Therefore, the breath is directly in contact with the truth. If you can follow, I am going to tell you something. The more you think that the breath is rooted in the truth, not outside, it is not rooted in space. My breath is not rooted in space. It is not even rooted in the body. It is rooted in the conscious being. The more you think like this, the more you go back to yourself. The more you go back to yourself. You travel with your breath back to yourself. You travel with your breath back to yourself. These are all small ideas which help the jiva understand himself. Because man is all the time, thinking about the outside things. How to make him think about his existence? In the morning class I said, we think about our body, our thoughts, our desires, but not our existence, which is not qualified by our body or our thoughts. You see? That is why these are all just, as they call it, tips for understanding. Now the Siddhanti says, there is nothing wrong, sir, in taking the breath as pure and the senses as impure. Not only because it is said by the Shruti, it is also available for understanding. And whatever Shruti says, it cannot be wrong. I have to only see how it is, right? I can't make a conclusion, maybe Shruti is wrong, that's wrong. Shruti, I can only make an inquiry, how is it right I can think, but I can't conclude, maybe it is wrong. It's a very beautiful, that is called Shraddha. He is such a great man, what he says should be right, but how is it right? How is it right is a better attitude than concluding maybe he is wrong. Maybe he is wrong, he is a wrong attitude. He should be right, because he is a great man, he should be right, but I have to find out how is he right. How is he right is a better attitude than concluding maybe he is wrong. How is the scripture right? Because it can't be wrong, it should be right, but I am not able to see how it is right. Let me see how it is right. It is a better attitude than concluding maybe it is wrong. Once you say maybe it is wrong, then you have no way to, then that is ashraddha. Maybe it is wrong is ashraddha. Let me see how it is right. Let me verify how it is right is shraddha. And shraddhavan lavate jnana. That is also shraddha. Shraddhavan lavate. Let me see how it is right, takes you to knowledge. Supposing you say maybe it is wrong, I think it is wrong. First you say maybe it is wrong. Then you say I think it is wrong. Then I think it is wrong. Then you say it can't be otherwise. Go on concluding. One wrong conclusion leads to another wrong conclusion. That's why here Shankaracharya says, please don't conclude that what the Shruti says is wrong. When the Shruti says breath is pure, then it should be pure. I must only figure out how it is pure. And what is it that makes it pure? All that I have to go into. What the Shruti says should be right. I have to only see it. Makes you reflect. What the scripture says should be right. I must only see how it is right, rather than conclude maybe it is wrong. Do you see the difference between the two attitudes? Yes. And that Bhashyakara says here, na aviparitartha pratipattehe. Because Shruti is meant to give the right vision. Aviparita. Viparita means wrong. Aviparita means not wrong. Not wrong means the right. Aviparita pratipattehe. Shruti has always the right vision. I have to figure out how it is the right vision. It is for me. I have to figure out. I can't question. You see, Newton saw things were coming back to the earth, and he says, this earth must be gravitating, otherwise why should they be coming? I must figure out how. It is true, they are all getting gravitated to the earth. There should be some gravitation somewhere. He discovered it. There should be something. There should be some reason why. Supposing Newton had concluded, now listen. Supposing Newton had concluded, why should there be any reason why they are coming? They may be coming just like that. Supposing he had concluded. Do you think that he would have ever discovered? Things cannot be coming back to the earth just like that, ji. For no rhyme or reason. There is a reason. Similarly, the scripture says breath is pure. There must be a reason. It is for me to find out. The scripture is right. It is for me to find out how it is right. Because a scripture loves the well-being of human beings. It always conveys what is good for human beings, and therefore human beings have to figure out how it is right. Na aviparitartha pratipattehe. The first line means the Shruti always conveys what is right. Aviparitartha pratipattehe. Shreyaha prapti upapattehe. And that alone guarantees happiness. The right vision alone guarantees happiness. Lokavat, as in the case of the world. Very beautiful, ji. This noise is there, and that's why thoda sa friction hai. We are not able to enjoy the theme. That noise comes, creates. For you there is no problem. I have a problem with noise. Janam se I have got a problem with this noise. Silence is so beautiful. I'll tell you, supposing you mistake the rope for a snake, that is viparita jnana. It doesn't guarantee happiness. If you see an object as it is, a right perception adds to your happiness, a wrong perception adds to your unhappiness. This is the general principle, ji. Right knowledge adds to your happiness. Right information adds to your happiness. Wrong information, wrong knowledge, wrong perception, wrong understanding creates more and more unhappiness. This is observed law. This is what is available. I can't question it. The right adds to happiness. The wrong adds to unhappiness. This phenomenon I can't question in this world. In the same manner, rightly understanding the scripture adds to your happiness. Wrongly interpreting the scripture creates more unhappiness. In fact, our happiness depends upon the right grasp of the scripture, what the scripture is talking. And therefore concluding that maybe the scripture is telling a lie, that the senses are pure and the breath is, the senses are impure and the breath is pure, maybe the scripture is not. Maybe the scripture is not right. To concluding that the scripture is not right, also going against the scripture. It's a misconception about the scripture. That is why here Bhashikara says the first principle we have to understand is that right knowledge guarantees happiness, wrong knowledge guarantees unhappiness. Right understanding guarantees happiness, wrong understanding guarantees unhappiness. So much of emphasis is put by the scripture on right understanding, the need for right understanding. Are you able to follow? Na viparitartha pratipattehe shreyah praptipapattehe lokavat yohi aviparitartham pratipadyate loke saha ishtam prapnoti anishtadva nivartate. When a person understands things even in the world as they are correctly, the right understanding brings him what he likes, what he wants. Right understanding brings him fulfillment. Wrong understanding brings him frustration. Yohi aviparitartham aviparitam artham pratipadyate loke saha ishtam prapnoti anishtadva nivartate. Up to that it means right knowledge does bring you fulfillment. That That is the nature of right knowledge. Somehow or other, it is not by our like or right knowledge, whether you like it or not, brings you fulfillment. Wrong knowledge, whether you like it or not, brings you frustration. Right understanding, whether you like it or not, has to bring fulfillment. Wrong understanding, whether you like it or not, has to bring frustration. Clear? In the same manner, right understanding about the scripture brings you fulfillment, and wrong understanding about the scripture brings frustration. Yo hi avipariyamartham pratipadyate loke sa ishtam prapnoti anishtadva nivartate na viparitartha pratipatya. But you can never get fulfillment through wrong understanding of anything. If somebody thinks by eating, by overeating, I will become slim, by fasting I am going to increase my weight, is it right knowledge or wrong knowledge? Right knowledge. Right knowledge? मुझे कुछ पता नहीं. Right knowledge? It is wrong knowledge. It is wrong knowledge, ji. By overeating you don't become slim. By fasting you don't become overweight. That's the viparita jnana. Similarly, when somebody says, by drinking I will become happy, it is wrong knowledge. Through drugs I will become happy, is all wrong knowledge. And whether you keep in your mind wrong knowledge, casually or seriously, it is going to affect you. It is always better to be clear. Any wrong perception is going to affect my happiness, is going to disturb me. Similarly, about the scripture also, if I have wrong perception about what the scripture says, it is going to add to my life. And therefore, the scripture is telling the senses are impure and the breath is pure. I must only understand how. And in other Upanishads it is said the breath is pure because it is rooted in the truth. The senses are also rooted in the truth, but they look to be there all the time, rooted in the objects. The eyes don't recognize their source, they think about the forms. The ears don't recognize their source, they think of the sounds. The senses don't recognize their source, the senses think about their objects. As thinking about their objects, they are always tempted. As tempted, they are impure. Whereas breath is all the time rooted in the truth. Breath is rooted in the truth. That is why the breath is not impure. That message we have to understand it in that manner, how it is. That it is pure cannot be doubted, but how it is pure I have to figure out. Tatha, similarly, just as in the world in day-to-day life, wrong knowledge makes us unhappy, right knowledge makes us happy. In the same manner, in the scripture also, tatha ihapi Shrauta Shabda Janitartha Pratipattau Shreyah Praptihi Upapannan. In understanding the scripture lies our well-being. In right understanding of what the scripture says lies our well-being. Na viparyaye. But in wrongly understanding our scripture lies our unhappiness. Now I am going to conclude it. Another few minutes, don't worry. I'll tell you, that one studies the scripture alone is not enough. That one understands it correctly is important. Both ways. We have a responsibility to understand the scripture correctly, in keeping with the experience of our being. Like merely doing is not. Doing itself doesn't bring results, but doing correctly brings the results. Actions themselves need not bring us fulfillment, but right action. The correctness is very crucial. The correctness of our actions. Similarly, the correctness of our grasp of Vedanta is necessary. न च उपासनार्थ श्रुत शब्दोत्थिता ज्ञान विषयस्य अयथार्थत्वे प्रमाणमस्ति. Up to that, there is no proof of the breath being not pure. There is no proof of the breath being not pure. There is only proof of its being pure. Is not breath impure? No, it is rooted in the truth. Breath is rooted in the truth. It is not tempted by the eyes. It is not tempted by the forms. It is not tempted by the sounds. It is not, because it is the senses. Temptation is always through the senses. Temptation is never through the breath. Bahut badi baat hai ji. This is a beautiful way of this. Even pictorially, temptation is always through. You have temptation for a form. You have a temptation to enjoy a form. You have a temptation to enjoy a sound, taste, touch, smell. Do you have a temptation to stop breathing? Do you have a temptation to breathe? Is it called temptation? There is no temptation to breathe, nor temptation not to breathe. Temptation is not related to breath. Temptation is always related to the object, senses. Yes. And therefore there is no proof of, there is no evidence of the breath not being. There is no evidence of the breath not being pure. Clear? This is all we are understanding pictorially. When something is explained pictorially, we should also understand it pictorially. Oh, I don't believe in all these stories and all. What is that? You don't have to only be a child to appreciate a story. Even a grown-up person can appreciate a story because it is conveying something nice. Conveying nice. No, we are no longer children. We can't study Puranas. We are all grown-up, matured people. Therefore, we have to study Vedanta. Okay, when you start teaching Vedanta, they go to sleep straight away. अगर अच्छी तरह से समझाएंगे तो सो जाते हैं. पुराण बताएंगे तो हम तो भी यार बहुत बड़े लोग हैं. What is बड़े लोग? Is not Ramayana is all conveying a beautiful message. As far as I am concerned, this Vedic literature is very beautiful. Takes time to understand it. The Puranas are beautiful. You have to somehow or other understand it correctly. उसको distort नहीं करना है. Because Puranas are of no use without giving the message either about dharma or about moksha. Otherwise, what are they for? What are they for? All Puranas are good either as the givers of Either dharma is the topic or moksha is the topic. Bhakti is the topic. Karma yoga is the topic. Values are their topic. Nothing else is the topic. Okay, we'll continue it later. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. भगवान को शुक्र देना चाहिए, धन्यवाद देना चाहिए that we have survived this noise. Hey Rama, we have to manage the thank you.